saw a snowplow truck. Looks like it's snowing. I want to talk about our experience last night in the cold car camping here in the Model 3 for the first time. It is definitely snowing. You can see that in the headlights. And there's some whiteness out there on the tree leaves. White roofs. One thing I want to mention that we saw already that's a big difference between 3 and Y and S and X, which were, S and X was the only ones we're used to car camping in, is the climate control. Because through here I can adjust this fan speed and make it higher. And I would always do that, like up to 7 or something like that, so it drowns out all the road noise. And when I did that last night, whenever I do it, no matter how I'd set it up, I could, over here there's usually a keep button or a dog button or a camp mode button. Let me go back to auto. But whenever I did that, the minute I locked the car and shut it all off, it would revert to auto in terms of the fan speed. So we couldn't ever keep the fan speed up. That was kind of annoying. It ended up not being that big of a deal, but overall, for someone who does a lot of car camping, that would be a major drawback for 3 and Y, unless they redo the software so that you can keep the fan speed up when you're keeping the climate control on. Another thing we noticed about this 3 and Y, besides having no dashboard, you can't see anything at night when we're driving, is after you finish supercharging, because we car camped right near a supercharger or at a supercharger, and the fans come on after. I find that even not during the supercharge as much, but after you unplug, then the fans kick on. So they make all this noise, and the pump for the battery coolant comes on, makes all this weird noises, and we can't kick the fans up, so we hear all these weird noises, and then we hear expansion pops underneath the car, which is common in this model. I think it's probably also common in Model Y because it's steel and it's not aluminum. The whole frame and the sheet metal, but in this case the frame and what's holding the battery, you hear it popping until the battery cools back down during that process. So we heard it pop, 3, 4, 5 times. It's really annoying. You cannot sleep during that time. Well, as you can see, it's cold and it's snowing, and it did not feel cold last night. Even though we couldn't kick the fan on, I was kind of concerned about that. I was thinking that after a while we were going to get really cold back there because there's no air vents back there. But it was completely fine. It was just really, I guess, the heat. And this is an older Model 3, so it does not have the heat pump. It has the resistance coils. You can tell by whether it has chrome from the factory or not. Chrome from the factory means it's got the old school, like, resistance oven type coils, electric ovens. And if it's newer and has blacked out chrome from the factory, blacked out trim, then it's got the heat pump, which does not provide the roastiness, the real fire warmth in the winter. But this was very, very warm, I can tell you that. All right, let's take a look at what the bed looks like. All right, how's the bed?
It's fine.
So,
it's
okay.
a little hard.
In the Model 3, you've got this area here because it's a trunk, not a hatchback, so we can't really do a mattress. Otherwise, you're pinched, and you have to do, you have to amputate, I guess, your legs in the middle of the night. But I was back here with really no mattress, hardly any cover, and I was very warm. I'll tell you, I was hot last night.
It was warm enough.
I'm still warm.
Cold now.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this is open, the glass. Even though it looks dark here, we could see clearly what was going on everywhere last night. I wish we had shades like we do in the Model X to black everything out. It would also be helpful. This is what I was talking about, camp, dog, or keep. Like I said, in the X and S, it keeps the fan speed, and here it does not. It does everything auto. Last thing I want to show you is just we had to put all the stuff up front. There's no room for anything because there's not that much room in the back of the 3. More room in the Y, but S and X are wider, so you can put things side by side. You can't do it here.